What's up everyone, Andrew Bainey here, and it is that time of the year, the much anticipated, or at least kind of anticipated, 2021 gear collection video. I've been doing one of these every year for the past couple of years. I personally think it's a lot of fun because I get to look back at all the stuff I have and tell stories about it all. So pretty much this video, I'm just gonna take you through all of the gear in my room. If you're interested in learning about how I actually put this room together, my fiance and I bought this house in August. And I did a whole vlog about the, renovation process in this basement because it used to look not like this at all and it was a ton of work. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. You might find it interesting. But yeah, basically I'm just gonna run around my room, show you each and every piece of gear, or at least as much as I think is relevant and interesting. Of course, there will be a massive part for all the guitars because, I have a few guitars. You still can't even see them. Let me get out of the way here. There's a few of them. Back there. Yeah, anyways, we'll do a big portion about the guitars, but I'll also be going through, all of my amps, computer, cameras, lighting, literally everything. So if there is something you've been interested in about my setup, this would be the place to potentially learn about it. Before we move on to that though, I do have a message from the sponsor of this video, Gothic. The sponsor for today's video is Gothic. They've been a longtime supporter of my channel and I want to give them a big thank you for once again sponsoring this video. So basically they make really cool Gothic inspired jewelry such as this awesome bracelet here, this chain that I've got, as well as these rings, a bunch of other stuff that they've hooked me up with, really cool stuff. They have a ton of cool designs over on their website, varying in inspiration from things like Gothic, Satanic, Norse mythology, and many, many more. In addition to that, of course, different types of materials you can get, such as stainless steel, which is my personal favorite. Gothic also has a Christmas sale going on right now where you can get up to 35% off an order of $150 or more. In addition to that, they've also hooked me up with a unique discount code, which is BAINA. If you enter that code on checkout, you can get 20% off your order. So if you're interested in grabbing some jewelry for yourself, or maybe a friend or loved one for Christmas presents or something like that, go check out the link in the pinned comment or the description below. And once again, be sure to use that discount code for 20% off. Okay, with that being said, let's get on to the video. First and foremost, I'm gonna grab my iPhone and walk around my room because it will be much easier to show you some of the smaller pieces, such as my computer, desk, and then pedals and amps. And then we'll get back to this position so I can show you all the guitars. Okay, so this is my desk setup. This is what I am sitting in front of almost all day. It's obviously very messy because no one actually usually sees this in the video, so I get lazy. Got the, of course, Doom Eternal and Classic Doom helmets on top of these, which are the Kali LP6 monitors. That's what I use to, monitor myself while I'm recording. I also use these headphones sometimes, which are just Audio-Technica AT-HM30X. These are really cheap. I think they're like 80 bucks and I've had them for literally years. So starting off here, this is where all of the stuff starts. So basically I have a DI signal right here. That goes into this big ass tuner right here. I believe this is from Korg, a Korg pitch black tuner if I'm not mistaken. So basically the DI goes into that and then the tuner goes out into this, which is a DI box, and then the DI comes out of that and into my interface, which is a Steinberg UR44 interface. And then the DI box has a nice feature that also has a pass-through, which I'll talk about in a bit. While on the topic of the interface, only other things I've got going on here, different XLR inputs. This one is for my 2Notes Captor X, so if I'm recording a real amp tone, that goes there. So DI, amp, and then this is my actual microphone, so for when I'm recording vocals or whatever, and then I kind of leave 3 open in case I need it for anything else. Also got a power conditioner, which is very important, so it makes my DI sound better. For whatever reason, if your house has dirty power, get one of those. On to everything else. I don't know, got dual 4K monitors because they look nice. Oh yeah, we got this mouse pad, can't forget about that. We also got this computer on the floor. I apologize for my disgusting lack of cable management. I know it's awful. So this is a Dell G5 PC. So it's like partially a pre-built, partially modified because I do know how to do this stuff. I'm also just very lazy. So basically I got the G5 base model and then kind of like put in some of my own stuff in there, which I'll talk about now. So the first thing I did is I added 32 gigabytes of RAM, which you can see glowing RGB style, which was a complete waste of money because this is on the floor and I can never see it, but whatever. So 32 gigs of RAM. This one has an i7 processor, which is the 9900K at 3.6 gigahertz. And then I also added a graphics card to this, which is the NVIDIA RTX 2060. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the computer. Then a few odds and ends that are on top of the desk. So I have this Blue Yeti mic, which I use for streaming sometimes. Of course, the Logitech C920, which is a webcam. I have this cable from Happy Cable, awesome company. They made me a neon yellow cable to match Carcosa when we play live. So that's what that is. Also a microphone from Lewitt. This is for Carcosa live shows, so that's all there. And sometimes for TikTok, I'll also bust that out because it looks very nice. Stuff that I don't use too often, got a GoPro Hero 5 Session right there. Got a Rode NT1A on a boom stand, which is really nice. I just don't use it very often, unfortunately. This is the mic I've been using the most lately. This is a Lewitt LCT 540S. It's a little gross right now because I spit when I scream. Sorry about that. But yeah, I've actually been using this mic pretty much for everything since I got it. You know, obviously I have a working relationship with this company, but even outside of that, I just genuinely think it sounds awesome. So that's what I'm using for all the screaming vocals. To go back real quick to the interface setup, like I said, the DI box splits, and I'll show you what that does. You can follow this long ass cable all the way over here to my other gross cable management, and that goes to this kind of like wall of amps. So basically my DI goes into whichever of these 4 amps that I want, and then that goes into this, which is a Delisle speaker selector, which doesn't do exactly what I want it to do, but whatever. So basically, you know, for example, if I'm using the 5150, my DI goes into this 5150, 5150 goes out into this, and then this goes into this, which is the 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X. So this is basically my impulse response loader, and then that goes all the way back over here to my interface into input 2. And that's kind of what I'm doing when I'm recording real amps. So next up, I guess we'll talk about how I film my videos in case some of you are interested. So I have 2 identical cameras. You can see me there. This is a Sony a6500. I shoot in 4K. This is just like a generic 4K camera assist monitor on top. And then I have a second one, hello again, doing the same thing with a wider lens. I use this mic a lot. This is a Rode, what is this called? Rode Video Mic Pro, I believe. That's what I use most of the time. And then I have these 2 big ass lights right here. I got these from my friend Connor Gilkinson, who films all of Carcosa's music videos. Shout out to him for hooking me up with a good deal on that. So basically what you guys get to see is more of this angle. So as you can see, the lights are to, I guess, my left side when I'm sitting there. And then I have these 2 cameras set up like so. So it looks all nice and professional, like that. So now we're gonna move to the other half of the room before I get to the guitars and amps. So this is kind of like the chill section of my studio. It doesn't get used too much, but I have I think this is like a 50-inch TV with an Xbox One. So when people come over to record, they can hang out here. Got this like retro ass couch from Serena's parents, which is very cool. We got some more guitars because I am a maniac and can't fit them all over there somehow because I have way too many and need to sell some. I have a secondary guitar cab, which is kind of just sitting here because I only plan to use this for live shows and for like practice or whatever. I literally just got this a few days ago, so I've never used it. And then this is like my decoration wall. There's a big empty space here because I will be putting Carcosa's vinyl there whenever we actually get those in. So you can see, you know, we got Carcosa CD, some Doom stuff from the collector's edition, really cool Doom print I got at a Comic-Con a while back. Of course, the big ass Liquid Death dude. And then this is also where I keep all of the pedals that I don't use that often. Just looks really nice as a wall decoration that's also functional. So if I ever want to use one, I just pull it out of here and bring it over there to my pedal board. But yeah, that's my solution for kind of displaying as much as possible and having it still look nice. Could definitely use to put something over there, but I don't know what to do. So yeah, it's a work in progress. And then yeah, lots of vinyls over here. So we got all the Protest to Hero vinyls, some more sound paneling, and some more vinyls. And this is where I keep like all of my guitar strings and camera accessories and whatnot. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before I sit back down and show you all the guitars is a couple of amps that I got over here. As you can see, there's more guitar pedals, more microphones that I don't use quite as often, like the Shure SM7B, another Lewitt mic, and then like a generic SM58, I believe. More pedals. So I got my YouTube plaque up here. Hello. This is what I got for 100K subscribers, so I put that nice and proud at the top. Got a Rev G20. This was one of the first tube amps I ever owned. Big thank you to Rev for starting me down that rabbit hole. This is my 5153 50 watt EL34 model. This is one of my favorite amps that I have. I like this one a lot. I know people don't really like the EL34 ones for whatever reason, but I think it sounds great. This one isn't plugged in right now, but this is the Positive Grid Spark. I don't use this too often because, you know, obviously I have the more expensive amps that I would use, but it's still a great product. Moving down to layer 2, as I said, we have the amp speaker selector, which I sort of use as like an amp switch because I misunderstood what I was buying when I bought it. Not ideal, but it kind of works. This is a Mesa dual rectifier 100 watt head. I have barely used this. I'm kind of debating if I want to keep it or not because I don't know, I don't know, something about it isn't really speaking to me. I kind of go for the 5150 or the Rev most of the time. And then same story with the Angle Fireball. This one is 80 watts, I believe. Again, haven't really used it too much. Cool amp, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it as much as I thought I would. And then on the ground, this is like my actual pedal board I use with any of these amps. So as you can see, it's pretty bare bones. This is a Temple Boards Duo 24. They make awesome pedal boards. So I guess what's on here right now is the Seymour Duncan 805, which is an overdrive pedal, Aris Effects Savage Boost, and the Carcosa pedal, which we were trying to use to track some new Carcosa material because, like, you know, we kind of have to. And then this is probably my most used pedal. This is a whammy drop tune pedal. So this is what you use to get those annoying high-pitched screech sounds, or to tune down even lower. So it's a lot of fun. And then last but not least, this is my custom Rev 100P amp with a matching 212 cab. I absolutely love these two things. They look so obnoxiously neon green, sound amazing, absolutely love them. This is kind of just like a funny little thing Serena bought that I'm pretty sure I use more than her, but it's just like a turntable, which is what I use sometimes in my pedal demo videos to do stuff like this, to get those nice product shots. Anyways, I think it's like 30 bucks on Amazon if you're interested in one. Pretty cool stuff. And then another cable from Happy Cable, again, yellow for Carcosa. Big thank you to them for hooking it up. All right, so now the moment that most of you have probably been waiting for. Let's get on to the actual guitar collection. I'm not going to be playing any of these in this video because this video would be like 2 hours long. So I'm just going to show you the guitar and a quick overview of the specs, and we'll move on. So first and foremost, since it is right beside me, we have this. This is a GOC Guitars Vajra 8-string. I'm still not entirely sure if that's actually how you pronounce the model name, but that's how I say it at least. So yeah, this is a 8-string guitar, swamp ash body in a kawaii pink finish. It is their proprietary pickups. It has a caramelized maple fretboard and neck, which look really nice. Yeah, there's not too much to this guitar. It's an 8-string, it's fan fret. It's my only headless guitar that I have. So this guitar is not too expensive. I believe it was around $800 or $900 USD, which is a pretty good deal for something that's, you know, as weird and out there as this, like a fan fret 8-string headless guitar. Normally those cost way more money. So yeah, pretty cool option. And I think I mentioned this in my review of this, but I was super impressed with this one because this company made such a massive jump in their quality from the previous model I had to this one. It almost is unrecognizable as the same company because they really stepped it up. So yeah, that's what this is. Okay, next up is a guitar that I'm sure all of you have seen on this channel countless times by now. This is my custom Aristides 080R. It is an 8-string guitar as well. This one only has one single bridge pickup, which is a Seymour Duncan Pegasus pickup. It has an Evertune bridge. This one also constantly lives in drop E guitar tuning because it is used for my band Carcosa, and that's the tuning we use on all of our songs. It has a massive custom inlay there, which is my band Carcosa's emblem. It's all this bright ass yellow, which looks super sick. Aristides also has this clear backplate on all of the Raw series, which I think looks really cool. So the cool thing about Aristides guitars is that they are made of 0% wood, so there are no wood components on this entire guitar. It's their own proprietary material called Arium, and then the fretboard is made out of a material called Richlite. So yeah, the specs on this one are actually pretty basic, but this guitar is probably one of my favorites, and I use it all the time. One final cool feature, all it has is a kill switch, so you can either turn the guitar off or on and nothing else, and only bridge pickup. Such limited options, but I personally love it. Okay, next up is a 7-string guitar. This is a Precision Guitar Kits M7. This one is a little strange. I don't use it too often, unfortunately, but basically the paint on it was done by my fiance Serena, and Precision Guitar Kits is a company that I work with on the side in addition to doing stuff here on YouTube. I also help them out with their kind of like customer service emails and shipping and stuff like that. So this was the first kit that I actually made myself. It was a lot of fun to do this with Serena. Unfortunately, I don't play it nearly as much as I should, but I think it came out pretty cool. This one has the Seymour Duncan Jupiter sets, which I believe is Wes Houch's signature pickup set. They sound awesome. Hipshot bridge, Hipshot tuners, Venge neck, which looks really nice. Pale Moon ebony fretboard also looks sick. And then I believe the body is basswood because, you know, I knew I was going to be covering it with paint, so I didn't really care too much what the body type was. So yeah, pretty cool guitar. I should really use this more, but I don't, unfortunately. Next up is my Prestige Ibanez RG852. This is an Ibanez 8-string. Obviously, I had this heavily modified to look like Justin Lowe from After the Burial's guitar. Rest in peace to Justin Lowe. He is the person that got me into 8-strings as well as into bright-ass neon green. So when I had the opportunity to buy a used RG852 for a very low price, it was like super dinged up in the original black finish, and I didn't care that it was dinged up because I wanted to have it refinished. So basically I did that, sent it over to a painter to completely refinish it in this neon green. I had the pickups replaced with Seymour Duncan blackouts because that's what Justin used. The only main difference is Justin usually used RG2228s. I personally prefer the 852, so I decided to go with this instead. And also I added a kill switch instead of a tone knob because I just don't use tone knobs. And when you plug this in, it also lights up green, which is pretty cool. Okay, next up is my Solar Guitars A1.8C. Apparently I'm just doing all the 8-string guitars first. This one also has an Evertune, also lives in drop E tuning exclusively. This is what we used to use for all of Carcosa's material up until I got that Aristides I just showed off. So it has the same bridge pickup as the Aristides, which is the Seymour Duncan Pegasus bridge, and then the stock Duncan Solar neck pickup. So that's the only thing I changed on this. Again, Evertune, drop E, super awesome guitar. It's really heavy because of the Evertune, but I love this guitar so much. Shout out to Ola England for sending this over to me. I still play this one a lot as well. Moving on with 8-strings, we got another one. This is an Ormsby GTR 8-string. This one is obviously pretty unique because of the finish. A lot of people get confused by this. So it's actually just basically a graphic that's printed on the guitar. It's not painted or anything like that because that would drive the cost up exponentially. So it is a painted graphic that they kind of overlay somehow in the finishing process. Swamp Ash body. This one is all stock pickups, which I believe are the Nunchucker pickups. I could be wrong on that. Hipshot hardware on the bridge and the, well, not headstock, but tuning pegs. Yeah, this guitar is awesome. Basically, I used this one as my lower tuned 8-string since it does have a longer scale length. As you can see, it's fan fret. I believe the fan is to 28.3 inches. So it's a little longer than any of my other 8-strings, which is why I have it down to double drop D. That's what I call it. So it's just a low D, like what you would tune a bass guitar to, basically. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, moving on. This is, I'm pretty sure, the oldest guitar that's still in my collection. This was the first full custom guitar I got from Fast Guitars. Fast Guitars does not build anymore, but I still work with the owner because it's the same person who now owns Precision Guitar Kits. Like I said earlier, he makes the guitar kits that I still work with. But yeah, this was like the start of our relationship back in like 2016 or something like that. Super sick guitar. I wanted an 8-string that didn't look like every other 8-string. At that point in time, especially, every single 8-string was a Super Strat, and I wanted something that looked like a Jazzmaster. And Kevin from Fast Guitars was willing to accommodate me in my weird request. I still love this guitar, and this will never go anywhere, that's for sure. So this one is a Swamp Ash body, spalted maple top in a awesome like avocado burst finish. What are these? Bare knuckle cold sweat pickups, hipshot single piece bridges, hipshot tuners. You'll notice that's a theme amongst a lot of my guitars. Ebony fretboard with these giant block inlays, which looks super sick. Yeah, this one's one of my babies and I'll never get rid of it. Okay, moving along, this is one of the most ridiculous guitars in my collection. This is my Fast Guitars Orion 9-string, so same builder as the 8-string I just showed you. This one has a custom inlay on the 12th fret there, which is my AB inlay. Kind of looks like A flat. I thought it was very clever when I designed that back in the day. Has a beautiful green burst finish over quilted maple. Absolutely love how this looks. Only guitar I've ever seen with a white bridge. I wish more companies would do this. He did this as a special request for me and I love it. This one has EMG 909X pickups because there really isn't that many options for 9-string pickups, and honestly I personally think they sound great. This one is a 28-inch to 30-inch multi-scale guitar. So again, fan fret. Obviously having that 30-inch scale helps me to get a lot more clarity from my low C sharp or B, depending what I'm tuning it on. And yeah, awesome guitar. Only 9-string I own, and probably the only 9-string I'll own for the foreseeable future, but who knows. Okay, next up is one of the most tame looking guitars in my collection. This is a Schecter C7 Blackjack. These guitars are really interesting because they look so plain. It's just a gloss black Schecter C7 that looks like almost any of their other models, but they snuck in a lot of like super high-end features on this. Like it has the Lundgren M7 pickups, which are actually amazing sounding, and they also threw in a satin neck instead of gloss, which is really, really nice as well. So yeah, it's kind of a shame that most people sleep on these guitars because they're actually really awesome. I personally am selling this one just because I don't use it that much anymore. So if you want one, hit me up. It is for sale at this point in time. Okay, next up is one of the probably most iconic guitars from my channel. This is an LTD SCT 607B guitar. Let's get the camera in focus. There we go. So this is a sparkly green 7-string Telecaster monstrosity. Of course, it is the signature guitar of Stephen Carpenter from Deftones, but I modified it quite a bit. So originally he has it set up so that there's 2 pickups that are like here and here. It's like a middle and bridge humbucker, which I personally hated because that's exactly where my picking hand is. And I found that I kept hitting the middle pickup with my pick. So I just got rid of it completely. So there is still a hollow cavity in there. You can kind of hear it a little bit, but it's just covered up. This is a Seymour Duncan Nazgul pickup, which is in place of his Fishman signature pickups, which I also didn't really like. What else did I do to this? Oh yeah, I also replaced the tuners with Graphtec ratio locking tuners, which I thought were better than the standard LTD ones. This is such an interesting guitar because I've considered selling this one so many times, and every time I list it for sale, I end up pulling the listing and keeping it. I keep wanting to sell it because I've never worked with ESP in my life, and I think it makes more sense to mostly play guitars from companies that support my channel. So for that reason, I've like wanted to sell it, but then every time I try and sell it, I just can't bring myself to do it because I have so many good memories with this guitar. So I think it's a keeper forever. Oh yeah, and the other cool thing about this is it is a baritone 7-string, so it's 27-inch scale length, which is why I always tune it super low to like drop F or drop F sharp, and I use it a lot for like spirit box covers and stuff like that. All right, moving on, we finally have a 6-string. How many guitars did we go through before we finally got to a 6-string? That's crazy. My channel makes no sense. Anyways, this is a Fast Guitars Roamer 6-string. Of course, based on the Jazzmaster body shape, just like my 8-string. I personally think this finish looks a little nicer than my 8-string. This is like a Buckeye Burl maple top, which looks beautiful. It has a Seymour Duncan Black Winter, but I got it custom made for white, so I call it a White Winter in the bridge. And then a DiMarzio Titan, which is Jake Bowen from Periphery's signature pickup in the neck. Both pickups sound awesome. 3-way selector. This one I kept standard with, you know, volume, tone, kept it easy. Same as always with all my customs, Swamp Ash body. This one has the hip shot locking tuners, and this was the first one that Fast made with his own bridge design, which is obviously based off of a hip shot. Still works just as good, and I still love it. Okay, moving on. This is the last Fast guitar in my collection. This was the last one that he built for me before he kind of stopped building. So this is another Orion, like my 9-string, except this is of course a 7-string guitar. This one is super simple. It's just Swamp Ash, that was blasted over with a very thin coat of black paint. I put on a neon green volume knob. There's no tone knob. There's supposed to be a neon green cap switch here, but it keeps falling off, so it's just like bare metal right now, unfortunately. I originally kind of wanted this to have a little bit more green on it than it ended up having, but that's okay. If you look really closely, you can see that the inlays on the fretboard are like a forest green. I think we wanted to have them be neon green, but we just couldn't find the material, so we settled on this. This one, again, has fast ohm bridge design, and the Graphtec ratio locking tuners, also really good. Yeah, there's not really too much to this. Oh yeah, also Seymour Duncan Alpha Omega pickups, which are of course Mark from Periphery's signature pickups, and they sound awesome. Okay, next up we have another 6-string guitar. This is a Sterling JP 150D. This one is really nice. I just got this year. Big thank you to Sterling for working with me yet again. I worked with him in 2020. This time around, I think they also are a company who made a massive improvement over their previous offerings. I don't really know what exactly they did, but for some reason this just feels way, way, way better than their 2020 models. Not that their 2020 models were bad, but something, I don't know what they did, but whatever they did, keep on doing it because this is awesome. This one has this awesome like lava burst finish over a spalted and spalted and flame maple top, which looks super sick. This one also has DiMarzio, DiMarzio Crunch Lab and Liquefier pickups, because obviously it's a John Petrucci signature guitar and that's what he uses. It has a 12 decibel boost as a push on the volume knob, which is pretty cool. And I think that's pretty much it on this one. I have this one set up for drop B. Okay, moving on. This is probably the most special guitar in my collection. This is my Aristides 070R. So just like my 080R, it's the raw series, meaning that this is the actual finish that's built into the guitar. It's not like a gloss or satin overcoat, or it's not painted rather. This is actually just built right into the body of the guitar. This was one of the first ones that was done in their neon green finish. And the most special thing about this guitar was that it was bought for me as a wedding gift from my friends. It was a massive surprise. It took every fiber of my being not to cry when they showed it to me. And yeah, I just can't believe my friends did something like this for me. And of course, I'll cherish this guitar forever. Really quick specs. Again, this has the AB custom inlay on the 12th fret right there. This has Seymour Duncan, Pegasus, and Sentient pickups. As you can see, I like the Pegasus bridge a lot. Hipshot bridge, Hipshot tuners. And again, just like the other one, this guitar uses no wood components, all made out of Arium and Richlite. And of course, it has that awesome clear backplate. Love this guitar. Still waiting to get married, ironically, but I appreciate the wedding gift. Okay, next up is another guitar kit that I built. This is a Precision Guitar Kit's JM style kit. Again, obviously based off of a Jazzmaster. This one is a baritone scale length, so it's 28 inches on the scale length, which means I can tune it super low. In addition to that, big shout out to Evertune. I also did this in collaboration with them. I sent it over to their factory to get the bridge installed, which is a gold version of the Evertune. Single volume knob, single pickup, which is a Seymour Duncan hot P-rail. I believe I have this wired kind of incorrectly, so it's actually just in humbucking mode, which I understand is kind of pointless because the whole point of having this pickup was to utilize the cool like P90 and split coils and all that, and I'm using basically none of it. So I do need to fix that at some point in time. I just haven't yet. I believe this is currently set up in F standard or drop F, except, you know, on a 6-string instead. Really cool guitar. I did this finish and everything all myself other than the Evertune. So it's just a Swamp Ash body, maple neck with a bird's eye maple fretboard, which looks really nice, although there are a couple spots where I accidentally got some green on it. Oops. All right, moving on to bass guitars really quick. This is the first of my 3 Dingwall bass guitars. This is an NG2-5, so it's Nolly Get Good from Periphery's signature model in a 5-string 2-pickup format. I personally prefer the 2-pickup format because just like with that ESP guitar, I play with a pick and I find that my pick usually scrapes the 3rd pickup, which I do have on a different guitar, which you'll see. But yeah, I like the 2-pickup configuration more. This is all just bone stock. I got this in 2019, I believe, the first time I went to NAMM. I was speaking to the people over at Dingwall at their booth, and I brought up how much I loved this finish and wish they still made it. And to my surprise, they said they had one in their warehouse back home. So they put my name down on it, and when I got home from NAMM, they sent it over, and it is still my favorite bass from this company because, like, man, just look at that beautiful finish. Next up is the exact same bass guitar, except instead of in the green swirl, it's just in the flat, or not flat green, but gloss green finish. Exact same across the board other than the finish. The only difference is on this one, I have it tuned to drop E, which is stupidly low. So this is what we use for Carcosa, whereas the previous bass is in drop A. Both of these basses kind of fluctuate in tuning. Since I only have 3 basses and so many guitars, I do have to alter the tunings quite often. But for the most part, this one is what I would use. If I'm using an 8-string guitar, this is the bass to pair with that. Love this bass as well, super awesome. Okay, and the final bass in my collection is another Dingwall, but this one is a Aquamarine Sparkle D-Rock 4-string bass. I absolutely love the shape of this bass guitar. It's obviously based off of a Firebird, except modernized. Still got the fan frets. This one is set up in drop C, and it usually fluctuates between drop C and drop B around that area. So if I'm using a 6-string guitar, this is the bass that goes with that guitar. This bass is awesome. Like I was saying, my only thing I don't love about it is that it does have the 3 pickups, because that's where I pick. So I tend to really scratch this pickup a lot, which, you know, is kind of my own fault. Maybe I should learn how to actually use my fingers one of these days, but I probably won't. Love this bass. This is a very close second to that beautiful swirl finish, because look how fucking sparkly that is. It's insane. Okay, so just a few more guitars left. This is a Moore GTRS guitar. I haven't really used this one since the video I did for the company. So basically, you know, you plug into that, and instead of plugging into some kind of amp or modeler, all of your tones are coming directly from the guitar. So you can literally plug headphones straight into this guitar and have it sound good out of the bat. You can also alter all your tones on a phone app or a wireless Bluetooth pedal board, which is pretty cool. So yeah, everything about this guitar is really cool. It's just I personally don't have a need for it because obviously I have all this other stuff. But for someone who is looking for a beginner guitar and doesn't want to buy an amp, pedals, and a guitar, this is like a pretty cool all-in-one solution. So I will be selling this as well. If you're interested in grabbing it, let me know. Okay, next up we have an FGN Iliad 7-string. This is an awesome 7-string guitar in kind of like a Telecaster shape. So the story behind FGN is that it's actually the same company that makes Ibanez's Prestige guitars. Same factory, same workers, same quality, but for way less money because it doesn't have the name brand of Ibanez or LTD or ESP or whatever on it. So if you're looking for a sick guitar that has the specs of those expensive ones at a way lower cost, these are awesome. This one is in drop A, maple neck, swamp ash body, no top, Fishman Fluence modern pickups, which sound really good. And yeah, I have this set up in drop A, and it rips and looks really sleek. All right, just 2 more guitars to go. This is one that everyone knows what it is by now. This is a Squier Baritone Jazzmaster guitar. These guitars were super cheap when they were released, like $400 or something like that. And then they increased in rarity and popularity as one of my favorite bands, Loathe, used them. So this is a 30-inch scale, 6-string guitar. So you can tune it super low. You know, it's the same scaling as my 9-string guitar. So you can tune it all the way down to like C sharp or even lower very, very easily. So if you want, you know, those crazy 9-string tunings, but you don't want to get a 9-string, this is a great solution for that. And that's exactly what I do with it. I don't play this one very much because it is such a special, like, unique instrument that really only has certain uses for me. And like, I still tend to find myself gravitating towards 8 strings personally. Although I do love this guitar, yeah, it just doesn't get quite as much playtime as I would like. But it is another one that I will definitely never, ever, ever sell, because I sold it once and I bought it back. And then I sold the one I bought back and got this one instead because I thought the black looked better. And yeah, very rare guitar. They're pretty cool. Okay, and last but not least, the final guitar in my collection is this, the purple Blackaller archetype. So this is a kind of rustic ash finish. So it's similar to the FGN, where it just has that really thin finish where you can feel and see the wood grain through it, which I really like. This one, I believe, just has Blackaller's stock pickups, which are the Feral Humbuckers. I think that's what they're called. This guitar is also in like drop B/drop A sharp. So it doesn't get quite as much use because I don't use that tuning too often, but it's still a really cool guitar. Locking tuners, which again are proprietary to Blackaller, hip shot bridge, And that's pretty much all there is to this one. I believe it's a rosewood fretboard, caramelized maple neck, or roasted maple neck rather. And yeah, pretty cool guitar, just straight to the point, sounds nasty. All right guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a really long one, but I personally really enjoy doing these videos at the end of the year where I go and look back at all the stuff I have. It makes me feel incredibly thankful to have such a cool job. Well, it is a job, I don't know why I do air quotes, but yeah. I'm just like so incredibly fortunate to have all these cool things, be able to work with all of these awesome companies, and be lucky enough that people like you watch my videos, because none of this shit would have been possible if you guys didn't click these videos, watch them, and I can never express how grateful I truly am for that. This really is a dream come true, especially now living in my own house, in my own studio, instead of doing everything out of my parents' kitchen, which I was doing for so many years. So yeah. This year especially has just been such a massive dream come true, and I really cannot thank you all enough for watching my videos. That's really all I gotta say. I'm very, very thankful for everything that happened this year in 2021, and I owe that all to you guys, so thank you so much. I also, of course, owe a massive thank you to my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. This video isn't really applicable for that, but normally I would give them guitar tabs, stems, and audio downloads. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, go check out my Patreon page. And of course, last but not least, a massive thank you to the sponsor of this video, Gothic. Again, if you're interested in getting some pretty cool jewelry for yourself or a Christmas present or something like that, go check them out. The link is in the pinned comment and the description below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.